Well, welcome to Stroke of Genius podcast executive experience. My goal as host, I'm an alum, 15 years post brain aneurysm stroke. But this is not about me. It's about Ozzie and what she's accomplished in life. And what is her passion? What is her genius? It's my playing words. But now let me introduce you to Osceola. Well, hello, good morning, Ozzy.
Hello, 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 hello. By the way, before we go any further, that music, that intro music, very sexy.
Yeah, I'm a blues type of guy. I like blues. I just like it. It
That's a piece of
resonates with
genius
me.
music right there.
Yeah, I like it too. Ozzy, tell everybody about yourself. You said to the intro. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, so basically, I'm the founder and president of Beyond the Call 24/7, which is a nonprofit dedicated to healing abuse, social harm through culture, dialogue, and structured action. I'm also the creator and host of the On the Call with Ozzy, a multicultural podcast platform which amplifies stories of resilience, heritage, leadership, and impact across the Caribbean diaspora and beyond. So you can find me at onthecall.com. I was born in Trinidad. My work bridges art, advocacy, and institution building. And so through OTC, on the call, BTC, I convene leaders, creatives, policymakers, community voices to elevate conversations that matter, impacting immigrant communities, care workers, and also generational families. So, in a
Wow.
tidbit, that's what I'm about, but I'm also about my major passion is healing.
Yeah, like that's it. I told you the green room. I really want to know what gets Ozzy up in the morning. What is your passion in life right now?
I'm glad you said right now because there are so many things. But right now, with what's happening in the world, where people are beginning to shut down again in one form or fashion, where abuse is not just about mental, physical, domestic, etc. It's also about political, and it's everywhere in the world. My passion at this point is to give people a space, a healing space to heal, a healing space to commune through the five senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. And so the way that we do it is through digital art that depicts healing and abuse, through keynote speakers who come in and speak to their solutions to whichever issue of abuse they want to tackle, through West Indian food, right? So you have the taste, through music, right? Whether it's a pianist or it's a singer, um, and healing moment. That healing moment where we ask people to shut down and we put them through a healing exercise.
Yeah, that's empowering for sure. Your main platform you've created is your podcast, correct?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
for those audience members that maybe watch this on replay, I'll be putting in the description of this video all the social media uh, links to Ozzy. But what is the name and how often do you air your podcast?
The name of the podcast is On the Call with Ozzy. You can find it on YouTube at OTC, at On the Call Podcast 20 on YouTube. On
Yeah.
Instagram, you can find it at OTC underscore podcast 20. We're also on TikTok at OTC Podcast. And then we're also on LinkedIn under Ozzie Stewart. Um, but that's the main driver of what I do because from that um, podcast, one of the issues has been taken into my nonprofit, which does the event, which is called Beyond the Call. So the podcast is On the Call, The nonprofit is not now on beyond the call, right?
Oh,
Right.
okay.
On the call, beyond the call, and beyond the call just tackles the issues, the hard issues that I spoke about: abuse, addiction, trafficking, homelessness, animal welfare, climate change. Yes.
You know, I've been around 62 years, and human trafficking, trafficking really was not known about in my younger days. But
Right.
man, today it's been unwrapped, unveiled that there's a huge network of trafficking going on.
Correct. It's well financed, right? It's very well financed, and through that financing, it's like an industry, you know. It's like an industry, but
And that is to believe that was what your podcast brings attention to, you raise awareness to traffic and abuse.
yeah, I mean, they're hot topics to speak about. You know, people would rather talk about a cruise or a travel.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's important because there's a lot of suffering that people shun away from seeing or hearing about. And those who are in that, who are suffering those issues, need to have their voices heard too. They're also important. So, whatever I can do to throw some light, to shine light on those people and conversations is, it's like, you know, you hear about something, and it's vital for others to hear. How do you keep that shut? How do you shut that down?
Right.
Once you're aware of something, you need to do something, or you need to speak about something. But once
Or
you speak about it, you need to do something about it. You know, there's this the word and the action.
There's a lot of people that just bury your heads in sand, don't look at it. But now I see, I had no idea trafficking and abuse is so prevalent, has been for ages. I didn't know it.
Yeah. And it's just becoming more and more powerful because there's more and more money, because it's being allowed.
Right, it's been allowed. But Ozzie, I'm curious, you know, I called the Stroke of Genius podcast because I'm with their genius. Your genius appears to be raising awareness for trafficking, abuse, and so forth. And using your podcast for that. Now, say someone wants to be a guest on your podcast. What are you looking for?
Okay. So because I'm pretty specific about the different segments,
Right.
if it is for Trini Corner, you need to be a Trinidadian living outside of Trinidad, expats who by your careers and lives are impacting the homeland or globally. You know, whether we've had the Consul General of Trinidad and Tobago, we've had Dr. Fali Clegon, who's an eminent epidemiologist. I'm going to probably say that incorrectly. You know, work with Fauci and whatnot. And these are Trinidadians, and people, even Trinidadians, don't realize the gems that they have living outside, right? The country. Then we have when it comes to hard issues, you have to have experience any of those hard issues, because I'm speaking to you based on your experience within those issues that could possibly help others stay away, get away, do something else so that they're not pulled into that life. Imagine a mother who has twins and twin children, both girls were trafficked. Imagine that.
I can't.
Right. And then the thank you is always about gratitude, right? We are grateful for the day and the life, but we need to be, you know, speak gratitude to one another.
So I'm curious, Ozzie, how do you deal with the hard times of your life? How do you deal with those times that are not easy or that are difficult? How do you deal with those?
You know, as a human, I go through my ups and downs like everybody else. I could swear like the worst, like the best sailor out there. I can, when things get really iffy, right? But at the same time, I have learned through the years that um, my faith, my discipline in the way that I culture my faith, and lately surrendering, learning the art of total surrendering. When things become so crazy, you're overwhelmed, you actually wake up into work, wake up into your overwhelm. There has to be some sort of mechanism that goes that you put in place, that you wake up into surrender so that you can have maybe an extra half an hour of sleep or wake up with a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's it. Funny you should mention the word surrender because it's something that I'm a spiritual person and I had an near death experience.
Yes.
And surrender to me is everything. To me, I surrender to God. I'm surrendering to a higher power.
Yes.
And I really think most of us carry so much stress, so much burden
Yes.
on ourselves. And we
Yes.
go through those difficult times like struggle, like you've been through, and we
Yes.
forget the answer is not surrender like I'm weak.
Right.
Surrender is like sign of strength, right? Surrender.
Correct.
You can
Correct.
think you're giving your life to control somebody else. You're not carrying the burden anymore.
He also says, I mean, for those who follow the faith of God, because you have Buddha, you have all these different
Right.
things, God. He also says, let go and let. He also says, let go and let God, let go and let me. Put it on my shoulders. Okay,
Right.
so those times when you're overwhelmed, take it, please. You can handle it.
Right.
You can do it better. Hear me now. Now let me
Yeah.
have half an hour more of sleep.
Yeah, I found one of the most powerful prayers. I prayed. Ready for
Yes.
it? I'm going to teach you this prayer, Ozzy.
Yes.
Help. That's it. That's
Yes.
how I do it.
Yes.
Help me. I
Yes.
need help. And,
Yes.
just in this life that we live on this planet,
One of the
help is
lovely
what we
things,
need.
yeah, one of the lovely things for me now is to be able to wake up, surrender, and have a smile on my face. Whereas usually, or before, it'd be, I'm like this, I'm out of bed, I'm like this. I haven't even said my prayers yet, but I'm like this, you know. So, and know that, maybe it's age and whatnot, but know that it will all work out. Even though there are times still the human element comes into play and you're still shook, but constantly give it up, give it up, get up. You got this. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how I handle it.
I think you and I been on a, we have been through a lot. I mean,
Yes,
and we've been through a lot.
yes,
And to be look back, go, it's all going to work out. We are here. I'm here today, and I think you agree with me. It's all going to work out. Oh, it does. I look back at my life,
yeah,
on those times I thought for sure all hell was to break loose, and all worked out.
yeah.
And I think you touched on, you said in other words, it's just strikes something else I've learned in my spiritual journey is gratitude.
I look at you, Aaron, and sometimes, and then you have the brain over here. You seem to be suspended in air somewhere or in the
Right,
universe somewhere.
right,
And
right.
you have these chubby cheeks, these really glowing cheeks. And it's like looking at the face of God, doing what you
No,
do,
you're too kind. That's too kind.
doing what you
I'm
do.
just a
It's a
servant.
one. No, 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 no. Because a lot of people would not look at you. You're handling this podcast. You're working on the mechanics of it yourself, right? You may have
I'm only
help
one
doing
person. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So you're doing wonderful work. I
Well,
am so.
Ozzy, something I've learned over the years, I think you agree. You and I, we are relentless. And I'm hopefully writing a book this
Oh,
year called Relentless Turning
okay,
Pain to Purpose. Is what my book could be titled.
lovely.
I knew what the honey, I know what those hard times are. I mean, I was God before my stroke went could do most anything. But now I've been in wheelchair for 16 years, like a speech deficit. But you know what? I'm relentless, like you. I am relentless. I'm gonna keep going. No
Have
matter.
you have you you know John Kennedy in the group, right?
Oh yeah, I love John Kennedy.
Have you done any of his combat training exercises?
No, we're going to. In fact, that's funny you should mention that, and I hope you don't mind. But Stroke TV Media Network is going to be getting involved with what's called accelerated neuro recovery, which is a revamping of the John Kennedy's combat brain tuning,
Great.
meaning I use neuroplasticity to
Yes.
change lives, to change our own personal life.
Yes.
And I can't wait. So Stroke TV Media Network is going to be building a accelerated neuro recovery website next 2 weeks.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely. Funny
great.
that I should say that
Yeah,
because
yeah. There's no mistakes, right? It feels natural, but there's no mistakes. So here's shout out to you from Ozzie and I, John. Well, we know you're out there. We love you. So appreciate your
yes.
work.
Yes.
Ozzie, tell me, and you're looking back, give me a couple highlights of your life of when you kind of feel like you learned through a hard time.
Whew,
Oh, I
we have
know.
time for that.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah. What impacted you? What impacted your life so much? Oh, there you go. Take your time.
one of the major impacts in my life has been my journey with my son, taking him from what I call horizontal to vertical living, meaning from suicide watch to where he's presently, walking with a cane, but he's alive.
Well,
The
how's that doing?
journey for with him, which I'm going to be writing about in someday. I've taken notes and whatnot, but um, allowed me to dig deeper into my faith, especially when I went against the grain, meaning the customary way of healing. I went against that, doing it my way to get him to better health. That and to see the success of that showed me that I must always follow my gut, my first thought, while I'm in deep faith, walking the walk, seeing the end result, walking to that end. And today he's a father now. He is
Really?
still disabled on one side because he had all these things happen. And he's a father now, 2.5-year-old son.
Uh,
Who would have ever thunk? But yeah,
what a difference. There's a transformation right there. Now, I want you would you please tell your son he's more than welcome to come tell a story on my podcast, Give People Hope.
thank you. I told him about it, and he's thinking about it. So he's not quite ready yet, but
It,
one of
it,
these days,
it, it
perhaps.
takes, it takes, um, I don't know how to put it into words. It takes something different to tell your story. It takes something.
Yeah, I mean, at the event, normally he would be in a lot of situations. He would be quiet in the background, watching something happening. At the event, he was with his cane because he has left side paralysis.
Like me, like
He
me.
would quietly be sitting in the back, but he was back and forth like the mayor introducing himself at the event, which let me know that the the space and what we did to it was very comfortable, very even, very peaceful, very open. So, and that's what we want to carry forward. But yeah, I'm very proud to see where he's at, with his son, to see where he's at with his life. It's still a process, you know. And but the other part of it too is his acceptance of where he's at physically, because before that he would call me in San Francisco rollerblading down the hills of San Francisco in the night, or playing playing soccer on rollerblades, or bicycling. His life was very, you know, he's a sportsman, you know. To where he's at now, his mental capacity to just accept and move on with his life is just an amazing thing. I sit back and sometimes I wonder, if that were me, what would I do, you know? So, but that has been and it still is impacting me every day.
You know, people, and I think it's true for your son and true for me. There are things people just look at us going, because when I first had my stroke, I was kind of in the back room, kind of back of the room. Podcasting, I never even dreamt of it. I remember telling my mentor, the way I am, my life is over.
Right.
Suicide, I knew all about suicide because I was suicidal in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I call one different way, just like your son.
Yeah.
And I think it's really amazing to sit back and watch someone grow through that.
Yeah.
And your son probably doesn't know the impact that he has on you eternally in your soul. And you know, that is his ministry. That's what he didn't know it. But I know I do the same for my wife, and I have no idea. I'd be to my ass out. I could be quite handful. But she in turn does it like you. She looks at me and says, "Man, amazing! You're being relentless when you
Yes.
should be giving up."
Yes.
It's
Yeah. There
really
was one time I got a call saying, your son is on suicide watch and he had to be watched. So, you know, and that's when I did the shift. Okay, this has to change. And, you know, but yeah. So looking at you as well, you know, takes me back to the journey, you know.
You know what? That touches upon almost brought tears. I don't want to because I'm still crying for some reason. But will tell you that for you to come on my podcast and share your journey, some of your journey, piece you, and I'll have you on again. I've been really, really, really appreciative, grateful for you. Oh, you came back. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, you've not got to believe this, but we only got a couple minutes to go. If someone wants to get hold of you, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Let's see. The best way to get a hold of me is via my podcast website, but you can get a hold of me on on the call podcast 20 at Gmail. If it is for my nonprofit, and we are working on our 9/10 September 10 event called Healing Abuse again. But this time, instead of having it in one place where we were sponsored the space by TD Bank, now we're looking to have it in 3 places simultaneously. So New York, Toronto, and Trinidad.
Wow,
So we have
great.
a couple. So for those who would like to help us with this healing abuse done through sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, you can reach me at beyondthecall23 at gmail.com.
All right. Now, beyond the call at gmail.com.
Beyond the call 23
23.
at gmail.com. Yes.
All right. I'm really hoping for that. I'm going to be tuning in more and more to that. Now, do you also have a YouTube channel? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Say that again.
Do you have a YouTube channel? Is your podcast on YouTube? Where is it?
Yeah, my podcast is on my website at you can find all the segments on YouTube at on the call podcast 20.
Okay, what's the website address?
And the website address is www.onthecallpodcast.com.
Oh, that's great, because that really is your hub. Man, I realize that the website is the hub. YouTube is a tool, platform to point everybody to your hub. So it's on the callpodcast.com. You get that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say your passion, the thing that drives you is I'm hearing from you, is a desire to raise awareness.
Awareness and healing.
And
right?
healing.
And healing. Yes. And one of the things that okay. So there are 3 pillars, right?
Okay.
Heritage and healing, where we're building a cultural healing movement through the event. The pillar number 2 is media with meaning. We're not about gossip or surface talk. It's about policy, diaspora leadership, truth, and identity. And then the third thing is scale and vision. So we have season 12, which drops today. We're still fixing a couple of things. We have a new wine segment. Wine stands for West Indian Network Experience.
Okay.
We're about diplomatic and institution. We have this diplomatic and institutional guests. And then we're about the convenings through our nonprofit, right? So those are the things that we are about, 3 pillars.
Yes, that's pretty awesome. I've never heard it put that way. But all right, so we're getting down the last minute or so of the podcast, on 30-minute podcast. But I did want to encourage everybody out there. If you want a fresh look at life, fresh look at topics, go to On the Call podcast.com, correct? 21.
Sure.
Repeat the website again.
So our podcast is called On the Call with Ozzie, found at onthecallpodcast.com.
All right.
Right? And one of the segments called Hard Issues that you'd find on onthecallpodcast.com is called Hard Issues again. And that Hard Issues now, through that Hard Issues, we have a nonprofit called Beyond the Call that has a yearly event, which is now expanding to 3 countries simultaneously. So check it out. If you can help us, we are looking at funding. Check us out. We'll do some.
Come on, sponsors. We need you.
Yes.
And On the Call podcast.
Thank you.
Feel free to reach out to us. But I want to thank you. I know it's a short podcast, but thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And I love the work that you do, and love checking out what you do.
Thank you, Ozzie. I appreciate it. So you have a great day, Ozzie. I appreciate being here.
You too. Love you. Love that music. Love